Two crucial bills are now in President Biden's hands, but the White House is still waiting on Congress to pass a spending package that could define his term in office. Last night, the Senate approved next year's Pentagon budget after the House did the same. The $768 billion price tag is about $25 billion more than what the president wanted. Both chambers also passed a $2.5 trillion bill to raise the debt limit and avoid defaulting for the first time in U.S. history. But the president is still waiting on perhaps the biggest prize for his legacy, the social and climate spending legislation. The roughly $2 trillion spending package is supposed to be doled out over 10 years. Right now, it's hung up in the Senate, where it still doesn't have support from Democrat Joe Manchin. For the latest on Capitol Hill, we want to bring in Nicholas Wu. He's a congressional reporter for Politico. Nicholas, great to see you. Let's dive in right now. What do we know about negotiations between the White House and Senator Manchin?
Well, at least Senator Manchin and the White House have been going back and forth this week as they try to break the logjam here. Of course, Democrats have said that they want to try to pass this Build Back Better social spending plan by Christmas, but Manchin has kind of dug in right here and has refused to explicitly back moving forward on this legislation, citing concerns about inflation and most recently about the cost of the child tax credit program. And so we're seeing this kind of back and forth as the Senate wraps up what could be the final days of its session before they break for Christmas.
So besides Senator Manchin's reservations, are there any other senators who have issues with the bill and want to make changes?
Senator Sinema, another key moderate in the Senate, has signaled some reservations about Build Back Better in the past, but for now, at least, the spotlight is on Manchin since he has been so vocal about some of his objections to moving forward on this bill.
What are progressive Democrats on Capitol Hill saying about the spending package stalling in the Senate?
Progressives are becoming increasingly frustrated about the lack of action so far on Build Back Better. As a lot of progressives in the House see it, they had struck this deal with the White House and with moderates to let the infrastructure bill pass. You'll remember in November, in order to let give the Senate more time to figure out and negotiate the Build Back Better plan. And now that things are looking like they'll be delayed into the new year, progressives are feeling like they've been burned in some ways. Congresswoman Cori Bush, a progressive from Missouri, put out a blistering statement yesterday, basically saying that that this could be. That this was a big turnabout for Senator Manchin and others who had previously signaled they could move the bill forward. And so there's a lot of frustration right now among Democrats about the stalling out of their agenda really in their last few days of this year's session of Congress.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer previously set a self-imposed deadline to pass this bill by Christmas. Why did he do that?
Well, this is Congress. They like to set a lot of deadlines to try to force action, whether it's, end of month deadlines. You'll remember that there were for passage of the infrastructure bill, whether it's the cutoff for certain programs. In the case of the Christmas deadline for Build Back Better, there is a very real deadline coming up right now, as that one of those key programs, the child tax credit, is set to expire at the end of this year. So Democrats were trying to find a way to pass the legislation, bring it back to the House, and make sure that kept on going to families. Right now, it looks like that won't be the case, even with this Christmas deadline. And this being Congress, deadlines shift and move around, and there's been talk of trying to do a standalone child tax credit bill. And right now, it looks like Democrats are eyeing sometime early in the new year, potentially, to really move Build Back Better forward.
Nicholas, I want to switch gears and also ask about a bipartisan bill to ban imports from a western region in China. The Chinese government has been accused of human rights violations against the Muslim Uyghur population there. It passed in the Senate earlier, but not without some setbacks. Tell us what happened with this bill.
So what happened with this bill cracking down on potential human rights abuses in Xinjiang relates actually to the rest of the drama going on in the Senate this week. This had been a bipartisan deal. It passed the House with flying colors. But when it came up in the Senate yesterday, a Democratic senator objected to trying to move the bill forward and wanted to try to guarantee votes on a child tax credit extension. That failed. That derailed progress yesterday. But earlier this morning, It's often said that Congress moves as fast or as slowly as it wants to. Things moved really quickly. A senator brought up this bill. There was no objection. There was actually even a little bit more movement on other issues. In passing this bill, there was also an agreement to bring up some of President Biden's nominations, including the ambassador to China. And so this bill will be heading to Biden's desk very soon. And so the interesting thing here is that this is something that as the Washington Post had previously reported, the White House had signaled some resistance to moving this bill forward. But both chambers of Congress stood up, enacted policy, and are handing it over to the White House now.
Nicholas Wu, thank you so much.
Thank you.